This psalm says that the wicked labor with iniquity. Literally, they are pregnant with their evil. Having conceived mischief, they always give birth to monstrous lies. That's what it says in verse 14. James uses the same language in his epistle. James says that every man is tempted when he's drawn away by his own lust and enticed, and then conceives sin, and when sin is born, it brings forth death. That's James 1, 14 and 15. The answer to this is looking to God as the giver of every good and perfect gift. In fact, it says this 2 verses down in James 1. It says, we're to look unto the Father of heavenly lights, from whom come every good and perfect gift. So when you think of lust, it's easy to immediately run to sexual lust, which of course is included in this idea of lust. But think of lust here more broadly as all your desires. Think of lust as all your longings. Think of lust as your appetites, your desires, your hunger. Desire all by itself is not evil, but it must be constantly taught to receive the good and perfect gifts of God. When God made Adam, the very first thing he told Adam about was the menu, right? He makes Adam and he says, there's food here. I was wondering what that feeling was in my belly. I was trying to figure that out. He says, it's for food. I mean, God knows men, right? And he says, you're hungry, right? Yeah, I guess that's what it is. God makes us have desires. God makes us hungry. God gives us longings. The longing is not evil. The desire is not evil. The hunger, the craving, that's not evil. The evil is resenting what God gives to fill that desire. That's the evil. Because God says, here, Adam, look, you're hungry? I've filled a garden full of fruit. It's full of good food here. It's all yours. It's all yours. Have it, except the one tree in the middle. Don't eat from that tree. Right? It's not sinful lust for Adam to say, I love strawberries, I love apple, and he's digging into all the good gifts that God has given. The sinful lust comes when he sees the fruit he can't have, and he resents all the good gifts he's been given and says, but why didn't God give me this? And demands that, grasps for that. That's the sinful lust. Desire turns into sinful lust when it resents what God has given or has not given. This could be as simple as just, you're hungry for lunch and you're mad because it's 15 minutes late. God said 15 minutes. And you said, right? Or it's not what you wanted. Or they screwed up the order. Or maybe it's bigger things. Maybe it's your pay. God's given you this amount of money, this amount of income, and you're bitter. You're angry. It's not bad to want to support your family well. It's not bad at all. That's a good desire. And so you ask God for it. God, would you give me more so that I can bless my family more, so that I can bless more of my neighbors? Lord, would you please bless me with more? And God owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. He can answer that prayer. And sometimes he says, no, be fruitful with that. That's the best thing for you. The thing is that you have to remember is that God never withholds good from his people. If he says no or not yet, that means that what he's withholding from you wouldn't be good for you. If he says, if I gave that to you now, it would screw you up. It would mess other things up. No, what I've given you now, that's the good for you now. And so we take what God gives and we say, thank you, Lord. Thank you for this pay. Thank you for these clothes. Thank you for this body. Thank you for this car, for my wife, for my husband, for these children, for not having children, this house, this amount of leadership that I've been given, whatever it may be.